I've just set the button alight, and we should be very, very shortly on all streaming services.
Brilliant stuff.
So we'll welcome everybody. It's good to have you all on board for the last show of the week. And interesting week, I've got to say. Quite the reverse of last, where last week we had to be very, very patient to get into the market, and it paid dividends in the long run. But this week, if you weren't in the market pretty quickly, guess what? You're pretty much out of luck, because the market moved, and it's kind of continued to do that. In particular, on Aussie pairs, Aussie's just under having a shocker. Absolutely,
Yes, it is.
Kiwi is. It appears we've gone risk off, and is are the indices reflecting that, mate? Still?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Nasdaq's still pushing to the downside. I mean, it's still caught in that range at the minute, but it is still pushing to the downside. And to be honest, it's still got a bit to go. As I said earlier, I'd still be actually, there's a little bear flag. Ooh, it's a little bear flag forming on the Nasdaq actually, so maybe not. I was going to say, but I'd still probably be keener just to kind of see if it would pop to the upside, but absolutely no respite whatsoever. I mean, it's been drifting lower rather than doing anything else, but no respite whatsoever on just looking across the board. Don't see too much respite on the Nasdaq. Don't see too much on gold or silver. No kind of real indication of a turnaround. The VIX is still pushing higher, and that inevitably does bring the S&P also down lower, the Dow Jones down lower, and also the FTSE is struggling as well along with it. So the DAX is lower. So yeah, they're all struggling at this stage, mate.
Yep.
The
So is the live stream by the look of it. I can't see anything on YouTube. Can you see anything? Because I can't.
have a look. Interestingly, Bitcoin is actually popping slightly higher at this stage. I'm still in the trade, but it has popped slightly higher. Just looking at the dollar index,
okay.
that's
We're good.
Yeah, we're good to go. We are frozen in time on the DXY as well. So don't see too much movement on that one, interestingly. But yeah, I'll show you.
We slipped into this one in the morning show. Actually, I don't think we actually broadcast this, but you would have seen me typing the entry on the screen, and you also would have seen me entering the trade into the MT4. So we've hit TP1 on euro pound for, I think, the maybe fifth time since we started looking to trade this short some time ago. I can't even remember when that was now. It's kind of a long way back. Maybe even back here somewhere. March. Yeah, it may well have been. I can't quite remember. But we've been trying and trying and trying. Is this the one? I don't know. But, like we've been analysing all the way through.
Ooh, yeah, I see that, mate.
What's that?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm always really interested in the euro pound. I find it a really tricky pair to trade, but probably
so do I, apparently.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. But you're in a short on that, are you?
Yeah.
Nice work. I mean, I'd love to see this one go short. Actually, and it's interesting, and you touched on it earlier about the pound. Retail sales from the UK were solid. Really good numbers. So we do have companies leaving, and maybe we'll see the real. Well, let's see what happens. We've got companies leaving, so namely JP Morgan. We got leaving these shores, and we'll no doubt see reflected in data points maybe in months to come. But if the deal is done with the EU and the UK manage to get a decent deal, I do think they've opened the door slightly now. The fact that they were, they're talking about reneging on a legal document if they do have a deal with the EU at any point, that if the UK misbehaves, in their own little corner, then the EU might say, well, you know what, you were willing to rip it up, so maybe we'll rip this one up as well. Because it's going to be interesting if the UK do manage to leave the EU and they do manage to get a trade deal. things will be on hiatus for a little while, but Boris Johnson may well, or somebody within his government may well have an idea how to remain hyper competitive. And there's been talk of them becoming some kind of Singapore style economy, and maybe draw business in from the European Union with the offer of low corporate tax, or whatever else, but certainly some extra help. So it'd be interesting to see what actually happens over the course of the months after Brexit. What are the tools that they're going to use to try and boost the economy? Because they must have a plan. Nobody's really in any agreement that leaving the EU can be anything but bad for this country. But and that would be my personal opinion as well. But I'm no economist, and I'm certainly not a party to some of the financial numbers and figures and strategies that some of the best brains in the UK financial system and economic system have. So
They're
maybe
not
they've
doing a
got
great job either, mate, I've got to say.
Doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look like it.
I think they went to the wrong school, perhaps.
Well, Eton. They all go to Eton. Maybe
Yeah,
that's all they were doing
should have
there.
been Eton. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, to be honest, I wish they were, but I don't know. Who knows?
Done particularly well, you'd have to say that. But then,
Not to this point.
Who wants their job? Not me, I've got to say.
No, absolutely not. No, I wouldn't want the job either. But then, in saying that, I think if you did take the job, you would have been gifted the job because of the certain particular opinions and policies that you have, moralities that you have. So if you went into the job, then people would expect you to stick to your word, and as long as you campaigned on your word, which would be something completely different to what these guys are doing, then I think the job would be. I think you'd be all right, mate. I think you'd be in pretty good shape.
Do the job, you reckon?
Yeah, I think you could do it.
Happy days. Yeah. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Those of you who are still in Swissy yen, I might lock this up a little bit, put a bit more in the bank. 115.55, I think we'll move that to. No, that's not what I want. Get out of here, you sod. Uh, 115.55. We keep it reasonably loose, but I think it's worth as we go nearer to the weekend, and I probably won't be trading tomorrow. I'm as busy as. So I think I'll just lock in a bit of profit there. I just noticed I've been triggered into the trade I took this morning as well, and that's not looking very healthy at all. We've just been pipped in here on Euro Swissy. Got to see a rally here rather quickly. Our TP1's up here, and the stop loss is only down here. So we're in a bit of a drawdown situation there on Euro Swissy, but Euro Pound's doing okay. We've got a little request from a visitor, so we might just answer that. There we go. What else do I have to do? Well, I've shown you the Euro Pound trade that we got in this morning. Hopefully that can hang on. I've moved my stop loss to that level, which doesn't make me completely free, but I'm not far off it. 91.85 I've moved my stops to from where 92.12, so 27 pips. What was the risk? 61. Yeah, no, I'm still at risk. Am I? Oh, it's not far from it. So not too bad. Screen is on Forex Factory. Thank you, Guarov, and my apologies for that. One of those little foibles that Zoom has is that you can't just drag your screen onto the main screen. You've got to select the bloody things, and it annoys the bijingo out of me. So I don't have...
I do.
What's that? You like that?
No, I drag my screen onto the main screen.
And it works?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Right,
so I have my main screen, and then I just drag the windows onto that main screen.
All right. Now I'm going to do that, see if it actually works for me.
Drag in TradingView or something.
All right.
Look at that. It's worked like a dream.
Can you see it?
Investing.com.
Oh, my godfathers. So what have I been doing?
I don't know, mate.
I need some driving lessons, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you do. Yes, well, it worked an absolute treat there, mate.
Man.
Yeah.
Righto. Okay, so we should now be on Euro pound chart.
Pound, yeah.
Hopefully. Perfect. Yeah, as I was saying, I have moved my stops from where they were, which were up here, 90 to 12. Where do I have them? About there somewhere. Yeah, just above that swing there. Moved it down to 91.85, as I've said. So if you went into that one, and we didn't verbalize that, but you should have seen me typing that on the screen and actually placing the trade. So hopefully you're in that as well. And hopefully it actually kick-starts this time and gets going. But gee, it was just been hard to catch. Not as hard as dollar yen, but hard. Speaking of dollar yen, I'm looking very closely at that, and I want to see it break up here and hit this level, which is around about 105.65, then duck back underneath and retest the confluence of daily pivot in that trade line. I suspect that's probably tomorrow-ish, maybe even into Monday before that happens. I'm not sure we'll get the luxury of hanging around that long, but we'll see. That's what I'd like to see happen before I got into that short again. That order right there, I think I placed, God, 106.58. Let me see where the stop loss would have been. 15. When did we trade that, for God's sake? Is there. And 106.58. Oh, that was ages ago. That was the last trade we were in. Okay, so yeah, I can get rid of that. Interesting, though. That level. Trading underneath that bar. I won't do that, but there you go. It's food for thought. So, mates, we'll kind of leave me at that. That's my homework done. I think I've managed to, well, not homework, but housekeeping done. I think I've managed to lock in as much profit as need be at this point. I'll still let that Swissy yen breathe a little bit, but I think that's the correct level now to have our stop loss in a trail situation. As far as targets are concerned from here, look, just let it go, really. I think this is in good shape and could go a fair way. So I'm just going to let this run, probably make another decision on it tomorrow. And if we can find a reason to lock in some more profit, we may, but I just want to leave it a little bit looser there above these levels in case we do get that pullback, which is on the cards after, such a swift sell-off. I think we've got a guest in the room.
Oh, brilliant stuff.
Hello, mate.
G'day, guys. How we doing?
Yeah, very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well for the middle of the night anyway,
You seem to spend a lot of time at this time of day when everyone's gone to bed.
Oh, man, to be honest, it's quite nice. I do a few hours work on the business. I get up in the morning and I trade in New Zealand about 11 a.m. I have a look at the markets and I spend a couple of hours in front of charts doing different things normally and then have a break and come back and do a little bit of work. But working into the New Zealand evening puts me sort of in a better time Singapore. So I often come down at about 5 p.m. Sing and do a few more hours. I've just done my first show. I did my first show with Sukri, actually. It was brilliant.
Oh, very good.
Did you get a word in?
Look, part of the format of the show has been not to get a word in. I just asked them as my guest to speak. So I spoke at the start about inside bars on pound yen. Boy, inside bars are useful things. I think they're well underestimated. So I spoke about that for a while, and then Shukri did crypto. He told us to sign up to Brave. I signed up to Brave. I made a cent already, guys.
Well, that's what we're talking about. I mean, if you can make money just for signing up for something, it doesn't matter how much it is. I think you're onto a bit of a winner there.
Well, so you got better inside knowledge than I did. I didn't get that last night.
Well, mate, he came to my show. It's more than I've ever been paid by Chrome or anything else. No, I got a cent for browsing. To be fair, I couldn't log into Zoom on this account. We've got multiple Zoom accounts, and it didn't like that very much. I'm just trying to welcome to Brave. See if I can see where I am these days. See if I can find if I've made some more money. But I've lost that now. I'm lost, you know. But it's been a good half hour. Interesting stuff, mate. Yeah, some good stuff on there. How about you guys? Making any money?
Yes, we're making some good money. Geoff managed to get into the pound on Monday, and he's still trailing that all the way down. I'm still in Bitcoin, and I'm trading that. I'm not going to say all the way down because it's not moving quite as much as the others, but it's still moving down. So we are in pretty good shape, mate. We got a trade on sugar as well, which is moving to the upside, and we're in pretty good shape here, mate.
How do you you trading on your Fusion account? What do you want when you do this stuff, Ash?
Well, sugar I have to trade on CMC. Bitcoin I took before I knew about the Fusion account, so that's on CMC and Axie. So it's over a couple of accounts, but from here on in I'll be trading on the Fusion account when I can find a product. But it depends on the broker, doesn't it? Because CMC, they I think you had quite a bad experience with them, and so I can't really talk them up. But I will say that
quite a bad experience does not do justice to what I had with CMC.
Well, they offer a good products list, so and it's difficult when you're making a decision about a broker because you have to put all things into the hat and decide on who you're going to go with, and obviously the first thing that you want is somebody that you can trust, but secondly, you've got to have enough products to trade because if you trade the way that I do, where I like to look around and see if there are opportunities in stocks, first and foremost, really, then I need somebody that's going to provide me with that opportunity without too wide of spreads. And they're not the best of spreads on some products, but on other products they're very, very good, and they do have a lot. There's a lot of choice. But Fusion, I would, I was talking Fusion up to somebody the other day actually because I think they're a really good company, really, really trustworthy, and I would recommend them really to anybody. And it'd be great, they're relatively new, and I think that over time, when they get themselves in just a bit of history behind them, I think they'll have plenty of products. I know there's lots of ideas from those guys, so well worth sticking with them and just seeing how they develop.
Paul, question without notice.
Yep.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago about DXY or the dollar index in any way, in any shape or form, finding its way onto our charts. When are you further advanced in that?
Well, mate, I have a trading view account which Ash uses, which I've stopped subscribing to. I'm going to set up a new one, and I'm going to make it available to the team to set dollar index and that kind of stuff up for themselves. I will ask Phil from Fusion about dollar index. I've never seen a retail broker offer dollar index, but I don't really know why.
Yeah,
you can trade all the other parts, and maybe that's possibly it. But maybe they feel that it centralizes their risk. Everyone will just trade dollar index and leave, all the other stuff, and the other stuff spreads their risk. So that could be it. I'm not really sure, but I will check with Phil.
Axie do offer it. Do
they?
Yeah. Yeah, actually offer it. Not sure about CMC. Never tried it. I mean, to be honest, it's I find the dollar index really useful. I wouldn't trade it personally. I think what you were saying about why they may not. I would agree with, and I don't really know why it's offered as a trading. I guess they just want to offer whatever products that they can get their hands on, but I don't know why it's offered as a trading product because you don't need to express how you feel about the dollar with the dollar index. There's plenty of others out there that you can do that with. So I'm not sure why. And plus the fact it's so heavily weighted to the euro, it doesn't really make much sense to have anything that does that. You may as well just trade against the euro and be done with it. So I'm not sure why that they offer it, but they do, and it's really useful to reference to see where the dollar's going. But as you say, we can do that on TradingView without having to trade it. So.
I think evening your risk out might be a little bonus in there.
Look, it's thing for me, dollar index. For me, it's like offering an indice, isn't it? You don't have to trade the indice. You can try to trade the leading shares.
Yep.
Some people trade the indice. So I guess it's the same as that. But I don't own a brokerage, so I won't be deciding that kind of stuff. But we'll have a chat with the brokers that we're using, see if they can get dollar index sorted out.
I'm not sure I'd trade it either, but it would be far more convenient to have it on the chart that you are using for an analysis or trading rather than open another chart up.
It'd be really good to have it as a chart, even if you couldn't trade it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Fusion are pretty good. They've got some really interesting Fusion's economic calendar. It tells you the price move off the last announcement, how far it went, brings up a chart. Interesting stuff.
Okay.
They got some really good stuff in the background.
Oh, yeah, that is good.
I can get some password and get in there. It's, there's a non-customer one which is pretty basic and a customer one which is pretty good. But I'll have a chat with Phil because he might put dollar index in that client area for us, just as a chart. And I'll see what he says. He's a very good man. He's very, very helpful on this kind of thing. So we'll have a chat with him, guys. Anything shaping up for the rest of the day?
Well, I'm hopeful Euro Pound can keep going this time. I think I've been in it 5 times now. Get TP1 and out she goes. I got to say I'd be on TP1 now, but it's come straight back to entry pretty much. Tough one to catch. I'm looking for dollar yen to break resistance and then come back underneath it. Apart from that, it's pretty much management for me.
Cool. We've got a short on dollar yen for Julian and his broadcast group. Brave trade. He's very good at picking tops of markets, and interesting to see how it goes. It might have got the stop loss a bit tight on it for mine. I quite like. I don't mind dollar yen. I don't mind dollar yen short. I've been in a lot. Pull back in there looks possible, but our stop loss might just be a little bit too tight. We'll be having a chat with the team. I like the idea. I do like dollar yen for a bit of a short myself, Geoff.
Well, I traded it down to here, but it's now come back and I'm out of it again. So I want to pick it up again. But as always, I want to pick it up as a false break of resistance. That's what I'm looking for.
Nice. I reckon you're a good chance there. We'll wait and see. If you pick it up as a false break of resistance, we might get stopped before it starts going down. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, that tight today. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yep.
Yeah, it's quite tight, and I think maybe just a bit tighter than it could be. But it's again, I'm quite happy to be out there because I don't mind the short on dollar yen. I think there was a short coming on dollar yen not far away. This dollar strength thing's been pretty dominant. Interesting to see how long it goes. I think it's just some retracement before it goes again.
Well, guys, we've been using the dartboard trying to pick a number on that. I was 95 about 6 months ago, I think, and Ash is somewhere between 95 and 96, and we're sweating on either of those to get a short in. I think.
Yep. But look, it does look on the daily chart. It does. Look at a pullback here, closes a test bar. All of a sudden, that short looks like pretty good money. But we'll let it go, guys. I'm going to let you guys get back to what you do best and do a bit of trading. I'm going to get some sleep. It's approaching 1 a.m. in New Zealand. I've got the kids in the morning, so I've got a reasonably early start. Have a good rest of the show, guys. To everyone subscribing, enjoy your day. Please give me a first show out of the way. It was awesome. Really enjoyed the show today, and looking forward, Ash, and we're going to have you as a guest in the next couple of weeks. I'll see you in there not far away.
I might have to have a look at that.
Yeah, mate. The stuff with Shocky was worth having a look at, and we'll get you along as well. The one in the show not far away as well, Geoff, to have a bit of a chat about trading matters. See you guys.
You can take a peek inside my new wallet. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you want it up. You and I've got to put the money in our wallet and trust Shocky to make some money from it, right?
Oh, he said he was going to fund it. No, he didn't. Yeah, we've got to put some money in there. That's right.
Cheers, guys. See you later.
See you, mate. Have a good
buddy.
one. Bye. What time of day have we got? 5 minutes to go before we switch over to the subscription show. What do we look for? I think I've spilt my beans on just about everything I'm going to do. Ash, what about you?
Yeah, well, let me just have a quick look around here because we do have just a potential. What do I want here? I want one, don't I? Here we go. Look at this little bear flag that's forming on the Nasdaq, which actually looks like it's gone as well. It looks to me like the Nasdaq's probably got that next leg down going on. I'm still really keen on taking a long in the Nasdaq, but there's no doubt that it's got to turn around. I haven't taken anything as yet, and I was saying earlier that my preference would be long over a short, but I still thought it was a bit early, and that looks like it might be playing true. And the reason I think it's early is it just hasn't come down to the level that I want yet. And what I'd quite like to see is a level which comes down. Let's just see where that takes us.
S&P doing the same?
S&P is, I will double check the S&P, but I think it probably is. I will double check the S&P.
If it is, I'm going to have to hit up Big O for a bottle of wine, I think, if it's still.
Oh yeah, well he would have made money. There's no doubt about that. If he got it to the downside, he was trading the S&P, wasn't it?
Yeah, he wasn't going to. I just
he wasn't going to. So he'd made some money out of the Nasdaq. He saw the trade on the S&P. Let's see where that leads us. Measured move down there. Let's just check that on the. Yeah, the low end of this structure here is where the measured move is suggesting. So I'd quite like to see the Nasdaq just drop a little bit more before I was interested in actually initiating any trades to the upside. But I would not be against initiating trades to the upside round here. And as I said before, there might only be a bounce up to what could be a right shoulder, but that bounce could be a 5% move. So. Oh, Angel's there, Geoff. She's waiting for her song.
Angel, you've got 1 hour to go before I play your song.
Only an hour to go. Listen to us buffoons drone on. So we got so we're going to take a bounce down there.
Let's have a song, Angel. You'll love it.
The S&P is moving, mate. Yeah, S&P is on the move. And if Orlando took that yesterday, then he would have been.
Oh, he did. He definitely did.
So if he took it yesterday, I don't know what his price was. Do you know what his the reason he got in was?
Yep. I don't know what chart it was. Probably 4-hour chart. It was an ascending wedge. Yeah, there it was. Yep.
This one here.
Yep.
Okay, so he's got this wedge going on. You like the wedge, dropped it down somewhere around about here.
He said it was one of his favorite plays, but he said he wasn't going to take it as a hedge. I said, what? It's your favorite play. You're not going to trade it. Get a grip, man. Get a grip.
Oh, I see what he's done. In fact, we're talking about wedges. This is a really, really nice example of a wedge right here. Talking about what is a wedge, and there's one right there. So I don't know who it was. I can't remember who was asking about the wedge yesterday, but there you go. There it is. It's hit its measured move and some. It's also now formed a new pattern as well, which is this has also formed a bear flag, and the bear flag. Don't have to measure the flag part of it, but it's going to be somewhere at about there for the move, which leads us down to around this point here. That's going to take us to this area here. So around about 31.12, I guess. But why wouldn't that get us down to 3,100? That's the area that is now looking like the most likely on the S&P, mate. 3,100. So or certainly the next potential bounce point. You think that 3,000, which looked like a long way away a few weeks ago. Looked like it was never coming back there, but you think this 3,000 level might eventually end up being seen. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that 3,000 level was an area of contention for a while. So that would be another really good area on the S&P. I mean, it does mean it's going to dive down another 8 or so %. So there's some room in these equities to further drop here, mate. And anybody that's in them should be really enjoying the move and not getting out. I mean, I'm in Bitcoin, and it has got a little bit hairy as prices kind of gone up and down and sideways. In fact, I can very, very quickly show you that before we go. This is my Bitcoin trade. I've got some trades up here, but it has tried to come back. But I'm just sliding down. I'm not being overly kind of aggressive with the stops, because I still think this is coming down. So I want to give it enough room to come down, and I'm either using this upper line or lower line. I haven't decided which yet, and I've obviously got to give it a little bit of room for the spread. But I still think there's some potential downside here. But if there's not, there's I've taken profit already, and there's some still left on the table there. that I'm just going to continue to trail down with. So same sort of thing should be going on with anybody that's in, NASDAQ and the S&P or Dow or Euro or Aussie would be a great one. That's the only thing that I'm a little bit upset about, if I'm honest, is the fact that Bitcoin has come down. But now, just because the move here looks more aggressive, I don't work on pips. Pips don't really, they mean nothing to me, because if something is of a value of 25,000, like the Dow, and it comes down 100 pips, that's a much lesser move than something like the FTSE, which is something like at 6,000, and that comes down 100 pips. It doesn't mean as much. So a move to the downside like this isn't that important to me. What's more important is the percentage. And I can tell you that even though the euro, I'm not too gutted about missing something like, trading. In fact, not missing, but I'm not too annoyed about maybe trading Bitcoin over something like the euro. But there are a few that I wish that I had taken instead, because my analysis was on the dollar. The problem was that I'd done my analysis counter the dollar on Bitcoin, and it takes me so long to get my data that I didn't have time to analyze anything else in quite as much depth. So I did all my analysis on Bitcoin. I thought, I haven't got time now to be looking around. So let's get the trade on here.
You sacked the FTSE and gone to Bitcoin.
I had to, mate. I had to. I mean, the FTSE's different actually, because the FTSE is it's not quite the relationship that I was trading was to do with the dollar. So I would have been more exposed after taking the Bitcoin trade, then taking the NASDAQ or the Euro or the Swissy or anything else that was exposed to dollar moves. But as soon as
you found it, you staked your claim on it and you traded it, and that's exactly what we need to do as traders. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I did. I put my flag in the ground, didn't I? And that was that was the thing with it. But it's okay anyway. Ethereum actually up today by 4.2%. ADA up by 2.69%. So actually, the cryptos out of all the commodities and currencies are doing okay, mate. Funnily enough, cryptos are actually having a little bit of a rest.
Well, there you go. We're switcheroos, and it'll be interesting to see what the rest of today and tomorrow brings, because we're pretty much out of news. We've had some just recently, and we're out of time, guys. On the social media, we have got to go because our subscribers await, and we will thank you very much for your company, and we will do it all again next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, when you'll have all the guests that we've had this week again. And we look forward to having you back with us then. In the meantime, those of you who are subscribers and are in the room, hang on, we'll be back with you in just a tick.